Hey everybody, this is Robert from Black Belt Gaming. Welcome back to my solo 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons playthrough. We're playing a first level adventure. I've got the Dwarven Slayer Eldith and her companion character, basically a halfling striker. They were in the wilderness and fell through a hole into the caverns beneath. And they're attempting to find their way out of these monster-infested caverns. They were originally searching for Eldith's sister, Vistra, who had disappeared in this area. Well, the ground gave out beneath them, they fell, and they've been in a desperate search for an exit to find their way out. This was structured by a skill challenge. The skill challenge has now been completely failed. We've had 3 failures. And due to those failures, we've encountered a poisonous snake, a cave-in, and then our party is now fatigued due to the extreme heat coming from some of the tunnels here. This must be close to either a volcano or a dragon's lair or something like that. So now they're attempting to find their way out. Due to the failed skill challenge, their final encounter will not be a standard encounter. It will be boosted to a difficult encounter or a hard encounter. And let's see what that is. Carrying a small magical item called a sunrod, the halfling is able to illuminate the passages ahead. They round the corner, wiping the sweat off their brow, and here's what we see. Ahead, you see light streaming in from above, illuminating a flight of ancient stone steps. You've found a way out of the dungeon. Unfortunately, the path is guarded by more monsters. One monster in particular, the Kobold Dragon Lord Mirak. Mirak is coming right out of the board game. He is a Kobold Dragon Shield. He's a soldier. And along with him, he's got his troops. Here we see the battle map. Mirak is in the gray, along with several other of his soldiers. But due to the ruckus and the delays that our party has suffered, he has brought in his lieutenant. Yet another threat to face before they can escape the caverns. Totaling this together, this would come up to approximately a budget of 300 experience points. A typical first level encounter for our 2 adventurers would be 200 experience points. But raising the difficulty, we're up to now a 300 point encounter, which is approximately a 3rd level encounter. Encounters that are usually your level or 1 above are pretty standard. So this encounter is 2 levels above our party, making it a difficult encounter. That's the penalty for their failure at the skills challenge. So a Kobold Dragon Shield, accompanied by a lieutenant here, a Kobold Quickblade. And then the small red figures there are these minion skirmishers, basically these tunneler kobolds, all pulled from the Essentials Monster Vault. So let's see what happens next. The very first thing that happens as our adventurers are approaching, their light can clearly be seen by their opponents. The doors will slam shut, blocking the exit. And now we will begin the combat. All right, first thing we need to do is roll for initiative. We're going to be giving the cursed white die to the main enemy. We'll see if it can give us some luck against him. Mirak, the Kobold Dragon Lord. He's going to be rolling with the white die. His minions are colored red with their figures. They're going to be rolling the red die as a group. And his lieutenant, holding a black, looks like a bow, is going to be rolling the black die here. Now that's holding a bow is what it looks like on his miniature. I think by his statistics, he's actually got light sword, a short sword and a light shield. So he's actually sword and shield there. The blue die I will use for my halfling companion. And for Eldith, we're breaking out the big Viking die here. We've got my only set of metal dice. So let's roll for initiative and see how it comes out for everyone. So it looks like Eldith here got a 19 on the metal die, which is great. So let's put these in order. So there's our initiative order. We've got Eldith at the top, her companion second, and then we have Mirak and his minions, and then his lieutenant. Well, not wanting to get absolutely surrounded and flanked, Eldith pulls loose one of her javelins. And she's going to attempt a ranged basic attack. That's going to be a +7 on the attack roll versus armor class. She's targeting one of the kobold tunnelers. This is a minion, so she just has to hit him and she can take him out. Armor class of 15. All right, as you could see from the disaster of a skill challenge we had, I'm letting the dice fall where they may, so there's no fudging here. Eldith will make her ranged attack, and we've rolled a 19 for a second time in a row. That's a hit, so this is a great way to start off the battle. So with her battle cry, she hurls one of her javelins and takes this guy right in the throat. And so one of the minions is now off the table and out of the battle. She's going to now, with her remaining actions, draw her axe and prepare for melee hand-to-hand combat. Now we'll go to her companion. The companion, he doesn't want to break formation, basically. He wants to try to bottleneck these guys as much as possible. So he's going to hold his position, draw his dagger, keep his sunrod in his other hand so they can clearly see, and sort of hold his action so that as enemies approach, the first one that comes into melee attack range, he will attack. Well, the Dragon Lord here is dressed in scale mail, carrying a light shield and a short sword. Confident in his defenses and wanting to lead the charge, he's going to actually attempt a charge at Eldith. Charging forward here, he gets just within melee range, right next to Eldith, ready to launch his attack, and our companion character jumps into action. All right, so we're going to take the companion character's blue die. He will be making an attack against the Dragon Lord here, who has an armor class of 18. That's very good. But he does have combat advantage on the roll because of his ability, which is he gets combat advantage if an opponent is adjacent to an ally. And he rolls a 14. I think we're definitely good enough to hit with that. All right, that's a hit. We're going to roll 2d4 +4 damage, and we got a 3 and a 4. That's excellent. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 damage to the kobold leader. Well, the attack, as good as it was not enough to bloody the dragon shield, the kobold dragon shield leader. So we'll just imagine that his dagger rakes across his armor, and the Mirak will continue his charge. So he's moving in with a charge attack against Eldith, and he's going to get +1 to his attack roll. Our Lowtown Urchin will take as a move action here the Cloak of Filth. He's going to shift up to 3 squares and gains partial concealment until the end of his next turn, just due to his absolutely filthy, dusty cloak. So I guess it makes me think of the old Peanuts character Pigpen. You know, he had that cloud of dust that followed him wherever he went. He's going to shift here 1, 2, and get into a flanking position here on Mirak. This puts him in a dangerous position with his back to 3 other enemies. But we're in a fight for our lives trying to get out of here. So he's going to risk it for now. And yeah, he's got himself in a position here, I think, where he can grant combat advantage to the dwarf. However, here comes the dragon shield, making his short sword attack. Normally at a +7 to attack versus armor class, that's going to be boosted to a +8. All right, here we go with the white die for the dragon shield. The curse continues on the white die. Even with the bonus charge, Eldith manages to maneuver her large axe up in front of her and ward off the attacks of the kobold leader. Well, the kobold skirmishers don't want to get in the way of the lieutenant. So using their javelins, they're going to attempt to launch those at the back of the Lowtown Urchin. So we have to take into account this sort of dust cloud that seems to be illuminated by this glowing sun rod. There is this dust cloud surrounding the Lowtown Urchin, making him a little bit more difficult to see. This partial concealment, it brings on a -2 penalty to the javelin attacks against him. So he's kind of counting on that to make a difference. Let's get the red die and see what happens. The companion character has an armor class of 16. The attack from the javelin is normally at +6, but now they get a -2 to this. So the first attack is a 1, a natural 1. That throw goes way wide. The second minion makes his attack and rolls an 11, but I think just due to the partial concealment, that would take that roll down to a 9, and total of 15, which is 1 shy of his armor class. So it sort of sparks off of the wall, just the stone wall just beside of him. So he is safe. So this kobold quickblade, our lieutenant here, is pretty shifty. He's going to start with a move action, and it's called Fleet Feet. And he's going to shift up to 3 squares. So he's going to shift 1, 2, 3, and now we've got this line of battle going on. I think this tends to happen sometimes in 4th edition. There gets these lines where everybody's flanking each other. But that's part of the nature of it being a tactical game like this. So he then can make his short sword attack. However, there's an interesting thing here. The attack deals 2 extra damage per square the kobold has shifted since the start of his turn. So this lieutenant is pretty nasty if he hits you after shifting. So let's pick up his black die and see if he brings death to our companion. All right, so he's going to get the standard +6 versus armor class. However, he's going to get a -2 due to the partial concealment from sort of the dust cloud. However, he's going to get a +2 for a flanking maneuver. So it's kind of a wash there. So we're going to roll the die and add 6 to it. And that's going to total an 18, and that is a successful hit. This will do a d6 +3 and plus some more. Okay, so we got lucky there. We got a 1 + 3 is 4 damage, and we add 2 extra damage per square he shifted. So I think we're talking about adding 2, 4, 6 more, so a total of 10 damage on the attack. Well, the slashing attack from the short sword didn't quite bloody our halfling companion, but it sure tore through his cloak. So he took a big hit there. Well, let's start up round 2. I'm going to put a little counter up here for myself. Round 2. And we've got Eldith here trying to make a decision what to do. She's got her two-handed axe. I think she's going to take on a poised assault stance, which would give her +1 to her attacks. And she's going to attempt an attack on the boss here. All right, so she's going to attempt her axe attack, which is normally +7 versus armor class. And let's see what happens here. We're going to get some bonuses. Poised assault will give us a +1, and flanking another +2. We've rolled a nice 17 on the Viking die here. And that's going to be enough to hit the Kobold Dragon Shield. So damage will be 1d12. I'll just roll this black one here. 1d12 +7. And that's not so great. So a total of 9 damage. I think we're going to try to do a little more than that. So we're probably going to try here Power Strike, which is an encounter power. And it says you hit the enemy with a melee basic attack. The enemy takes 1d12 extra damage. So we're going to roll an additional d12 and see if we can boost this. Well, just a little bit. We got a 6. Well, even with the sort of average and below average rolls, putting 2 d12s on him and her strength bonus, that's going to be 15 damage. That hurts him. That bloodies him, actually. My phone says Crom. So that bloodies him. So he is in trouble. We're beginning to whittle him down now. So that hit draws blood and badly wounds the Mirak. Well, I thought about maybe having Eldith shift somewhere, but I think I'm going to have her actually hold her position and try to give her companion a flanking bonus against the boss. All right, with his insanely dusty cloak, our urchin will shift 2 or 3 squares right over here. Once again, beside Eldith, and he will make a stab attack against the Dragon Lord. Alright, so let's do the math here. Making his attack roll against an armor class of 18, plus 6 to his attack, but he does get combat advantage due to his ability. Again, we rolled, I think we rolled that last time. We rolled a 14. That's going to be enough. He does hit. So I believe it was 2d4 plus 4, if I remember correctly. Let's check. That's a 3 and a 2 plus 4. So I think we've done a total of 9 damage to him. Wow, Mirik is down to the hit points of a minion. He's got 1 left. Great job. Infuriated by the stab attack from the halfling, Mirak turns and slashes at the halfling's legs with his short sword. He's attempting something called, it's an encounter power, it's called Dirty Tactics. So Dirty Tactics, it's going to be plus 5 versus Reflex. And it does enough damage that it might take out the companion. It also has a chance to immobilize, or at least do some damage and slow him down. Alright, so no fudging here. Here comes the die roll. Hopefully the curse dice will continue to work to our favor this time. No, that's a fantastic hit, even with the partial concealment from the dust from the filthy cloak. That hits him. 2d6 plus 7. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.